What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with RK Outpost and geeksandgamers.com, and we are here for the weekly Gaming with Geeks podcast. The first time in this channel's history that we will be receiving super chats because we are monetized now. After a long battle, we weren't sure, this whole reused content garbage. And then, of course, false copyright strikes by Naughty Dog. But it doesn't matter. We are victorious. No more strikes, and we do have monetization. So good to see everyone here today, including our normal panel. Mark the Cyborg, how are you doing today?
I'm doing quite well. How are you doing, Ryan? Lethal? Jeremy? Oh.
I was wondering, like, wait a minute.
It so happened when I was actually saying hello and like couldn't be concentrating on the stop cam button. It's okay, honey. I'm off cam. You can take the puppy.
Oh, what a perfect way to get started. That is Mark the Cyborg in a nutshell. And Lethal Lightning, how are you doing? Make sure your garage door doesn't open. So.
Not as good as Mark, but pretty good.
That was great. Man. Look at Mark. He's trying to prop the puppy up to distract from everything. Good job.
No. This is the only way I can keep her in one position. I have her like headlocked.
All right. And we also have Jeremy here. Jeremy, how you doing?
Doing good. Fuck Naughty Dog. Pretty much it.
That's
bastards. Right. You know, we got approved for monetization while having a copyright strike, a bullshit copyright strike on the channel. Ryan and I were talking about it. We considered holding off on, applying for that during the time we had the copyright strike. And then we said, you know what, hell with it. It's a bullshit claim. We're going to go ahead. We're going to apply for it. And yeah, it's been a tough road for this channel, but these three guys right here have been grinding, and it's a shout out to all of them that we made this happen. So good stuff.
All right, yeah, and we are happy. We do have the super chats now. So the way it's going to work probably while we do the podcast, so we don't interrupt the flow of all this. Likely what we're going to be doing is we're going to hit the super chats, and then we'll get into a topic. Once we finish that topic, we will come back, see if there's any super chats, and get those all wrapped up before we start with something new. Because we are planning on having a big podcast audience on Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, all of that good stuff. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about today is really something that came out when Ubisoft unveiled their new terms of service and kind of had everyone freaking out about it for a while. A lot of videos like Ubisoft is going to own you or own your soul, things like that. I'm interested to know, because I've done a little bit of looking into this. What are you guys' initial feelings? Have you heard about this controversy? Start with Mark.
Well, it's mostly involves user-generated content is the main thrust of it. Am I correct about that?
Yes.
Okay, so that I think mostly is bad news for PC modders. I mean, unless not a lot of games offer mod support on consoles except for I think Skyrim, and I'm not even sure how that works. But basically, it just means that similar to what happened with Warcraft Reforged a little while ago, where Blizzard's TOS said that all user-generated content would be owned by Blizzard, it just means modders aren't going to be making mods for their games, which is a shame because when you think about how vast games like Assassin's Creed and even the Far Cry games are, like the mod scene could be pretty good on those games if they would just sort of cut the community loose. But if you make a thing using our game, we own it forever and you get nothing for it and we can do whatever we want with it, we'll just make most people who are going to spend their time making mods go, okay, so we'll spend our time on other games. So it's a shame.
Yeah, and one of the bigger things, more than just the mods, was the fact that the way this was phrased, initially what a lot of people thought, they thought it meant that anything that I make using your game, including a YouTube video or a Twitch stream, can then be used by Ubisoft for anything that they want. They can put that in anything they want, a tweet, a marketing thing, anything like that, and be able to monetize it and your likeness, even if you're included in that video. And that's what a lot of the initial outrage was, to go along with the mods. But it looks like there's some language in there that may put a stop to what everyone was initially freaking out about. It seems to be that only if you create something within the game. So for some games, you can do things like make like in Watch Dogs, you could like make beats and stuff like that, make music, or if you make a video directly or pictures directly within the Ubisoft game, like Assassin's Creed, you can take a picture. They have the rights to that and can use it, which seems to be a lot different than an actual YouTube video. What did you think about that, Lethal? And do you have any qualms about playing a Ubisoft game with those terms of service?
I don't like it. I really don't like it. Like even that example you gave of like if you make something in the game, they own it. I don't think that's fair at all. I mean, if you go back to like Halo 3 days or even some of the more recent Halos where you can make your own maps and stuff like that, you created the map, but Bungie couldn't steal it and then sell it and go, hey, this is ours. I think that's terrible what they did, even though it's not as bad as what I thought. But I did kind of pretty funny how when that happened, it also turned out that CD Projekt Red had passed them. So, get what you deserve, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked too far into it, but I mean, I think anytime if you look into terms of service, which I've literally never have for anything, there's a lot of language in there that is meant to protect the company that is creating the product per se. So there's a lot of weird language that can sound really concerning in isolation, but it's always I remember the whole controversy with Facebook Messenger, like how it can have access to your camera roll or whatever. Can it have access to my dad still thinks Facebook is literally just watching his every move every single day, everything he's ever done. Maybe they are, who knows? But I just think I personally don't care. It is what it is. Just give me good games to play that I can enjoy, and it is what it is. I don't overthink this type of stuff, but if there might be valid reasons to be concerned, but I'm just saying I look at it from a standpoint of how many times have I clicked agree to terms of service or some shit on a contract. I'm not reading all that shit. You know what I mean? There's a lot of language in there that can be very intimidating if you take it in isolation and overthink it a little bit. So it's, if people are concerned, that's cool. I'm not. I don't really care.
Yeah, and there were two pretty impactful videos that I saw. One was from Upper Echelon Gaming, and that one they kind of set off the alert, right? That hey, there's this TOS that might mean that they can use anything you ever make using the game. Hogue Law did a great video just a day or two ago, kind of explaining a little better from a lawyer's point of view, which for this, it's an excellent thing for him to do, just like with all the Naughty Dog stuff, to get someone who's actually acquainted with the law, is a corporate lawyer, to look at it. And he really settled my mind a little more at ease based off. So I know that they're not going to be able to take my streams or my YouTube videos that I make with that gameplay and use it however they want. It'll only be stuff created in the game from what I understand. Does that settle along with what you had heard as well, Mark?
Yeah, I would say so. I'm like most of what I've looked into it has been cursory stuff, so I don't really feel qualified to like dive deep on the topic. But kind of touching on what Jeremy was referencing, it's the tricky thing about any TOS and almost anything. I always got reminded of the South Park episode where Kyle gets turned into the human centipede because he just clicks the iTunes yes to the term of use. And then he's always like, well, no one ever reads those things, right? They're like, yeah, we read it every single time. We read the entire thing. What, you don't? He's like, no, I just click agree. He's like, oh, dude. And like, but I think that sort of thing, it's ultimately, I think most people are still going to play Assassin's Creed, still going to play Rainbow Six, still going to play maybe not Watch Dogs. That game doesn't tend to do super well, but they're just going to click yes and play. So unless there was something super egregious that people could shine a light on, that I don't think it'll honestly make too much of a difference, because ultimately most people just click yes and play anyways, which is kind of sad, but it's sort of the way it is.
I think the problem with that, though, is from my understanding is there's no way around it. It's either you have to accept it or you can't play. Yeah, so you don't really get much of a choice.
And not only can you not play, but starting, I think, June, I forget the exact day, but you'll have to opt that in to even play the games that you have bought and played before for Ubisoft.
Yeah, see, that's a little silly, but yeah. I think that's the trick, though, to all these, like anything in gaming, especially like even stuff that I play like Valorant and stuff like that, I have to be accepting that I'm giving 10-cent money if I spend any money in Valorant. I don't like Tencent. Tencent owns part of Platinum Games, is one of my favorite developers. I don't care about like throwing shade at Tencent enough to never play a Platinum game, but I also got to be like, well, I mean, it's crappy and I should be aware of it and also tell other people about it. But ultimately, you got to make the choice about the things you value. And that's going to be the hard part, though. If you think that the user-generated content stuff in the Ubisoft TOS is too far for you to accept, you have to be like, okay, even though I'm an Assassin's Creed fan, I'm not going to play Assassin's Creed anymore. And those are the hard choices for people to make.
You're saying if I wanted to chuck in what have I got here? Division 2 and I wanted to catch up on that, I would have to agree on something that they're bringing out now, even though the games came out before that.
Division 2, I don't think is a good example because that's a live service game. So every time, like, you have to obviously be agreeing to their current TOS anytime you're playing that game, because there's no such thing as playing Division 2 offline. Now, if I wanted to play Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, if I had to agree to the modern Ubisoft TOS, I'd be like, well, I mean, that game came out like 15 years ago. Like, why do I have to click yes to play this single player game that you have nothing to do with anymore, Ubisoft? Like, I mean, you sold it to me, but that's it. So
yeah, I think that's kind of whack.
So you said Hoag's Law. I haven't watched this video. Have you watched the video, Ryan?
Yep, I've watched the video.
So what was the overall gist of what he was saying?
The overall gist of what he was saying was basically one of the thing that people were mostly freaking out is they thought that anything that you make from this game, Ubisoft owns. So if you make a video with gameplay, if we do a video for here about a review for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, that they can then take that and use however they want in their marketing, any way they want. And that's not really what they're saying. Anything you make within the game, this is the big sticky point, within the game, they can use. So there are things where you can create, we saw in Ghost of Tsushima, the photo modes, right? Where you could like make these kind of like stunning photographs and editing things. Anything you would make like that in the game, they would be able to use basically however they want. That is really what it's saying. And I think Hoag Law did a great breakdown of it.
Yeah, because I mean, again, with terms of service, ultimately the terms of service is all meant to protect, the company from any potential blowback or lawsuits or anything like that. But a lot of that language can be misinterpreted and twisted or misread, and I think that's what's going on here. But again, I'm not a lawyer. I would say Hoag Law's video is probably one. If anybody's concerned about it, maybe go check that out. I'll check it out. But for me, I'm never really overly concerned. I've signed a lot of terms of service over the years that I've probably given my life away many times. So
true.
That's true. But then there's also comes in, it's like, how much more are they going to keep adding to these terms of services? Like, where's the line? At what point do they just say, literally sign over your house before you can play the game?
Well, it really comes down to, like, for instance, okay, so I'm going to have my lawyer write up a terms of service for geeksandgamers.com because, and this is something he told me, because we're going to have memberships, we're going to be getting people's information, when they sign up for accounts. And there's just all of this nonsense. And really all this is to protect us, protect me, protect my company, because there are so many people out there that will abuse any fucking thing in the world. So the more complicated these terms of service and these this legality situation gets, it's reflective upon people that will abuse it. So that's really what it comes down to. It's companies having to react to people misusing and abusing things. So this is a preemptive measure for people to protect themselves from people manipulating the laws. That's ultimately what it comes down to. So, that I understand it from a business standpoint, because there's just people out there that literally sit around and look for loopholes and opportunities. Go ahead, Mark.
TOS can also be used to protect the users as well, though, because just as you were saying that
they don't give a fuck about the users.
I'm just saying though that like. Things like drafting the Geeks and Gamers TOS, it's also, if anyone does decide to actually read it, would be doing things like identifying exactly what Geeks and Gamers would not be doing with your information and how it would not be used. So, like, I mean, it's not like TOS always bad. Like,
and I can also say, like, something that will be on ours is we'll probably mention things like protect your passwords. Don't use the same password for everything, because if a hacker gets one piece of information from you, generally speaking, people use the same password for everything. So if they can infiltrate one aspect that it's a low security, then all of a sudden, boom, you know what I mean? You'll be hacked everywhere. So yes, I do see what you're saying. Ultimately, terms of service exist to protect initially the company, but it's also meant to, inform the users and protect the users as well. Yeah. So good point.
But again, I guess to conclude that, I just recommend buy as many Ubisoft games on GOG as you possibly can, because those games are untracked. You can do whatever you want with them. It's like a physical copy, the things that Jeremy likes so much.
That's right.
There you go.
Love them.
Yeah, so that's basically it. That's kind of both sides. There's been a lot of stuff going on about it, so we wanted to address it. And so let's hit the first couple super chats on this channel ever. Matt G.
I have one thing to do with that. With Ubisoft, have they responded to people's thoughts on this yet?
I haven't necessarily seen any clarification from Ubisoft. All I've seen are people talking about it, but I could have easily missed it though. So I'm not sure. But we're going to talk about someone who did respond to fan outrage and fan feedback in a second. But let's get to these super chats first. So Matt G, the first ever super sticker on this channel with a little gold coin with a star. Thank you, Matt G. Alex McCarthy for $2 says beep. Thank you, Alex. And Darth Barbie is here in the chat. Biggles Mets for $2. The man, Biggles Mets, says congrats. Thank you, Biggles. Appreciate that. And then the Gilk Man for $4.99 says, congrats on being monetized. Y'all are incredible. Thank you for bringing us great content on this channel. Love you all. # fuck Naughty Dog. Well, thank you, Thomas.
That's it.
Appreciate, man. And that's right. Fuck Naughty Dog.
It's always fuck Naughty Dog. Today, tomorrow, and forever.
That is correct. And we've been talking about how Naughty Dog hasn't really listened to a lot of what fans, and they don't even want to. They're hiding their replies. They're turning their comments off, things like that. But ironically, Bethesda just made a move that indicates that they have heard some of what fans have been saying over the past week or so about the anti-cheat software for Doom. And Mark, you brought this to our attention. Why don't you go ahead and explain why people were so upset about this anti-cheat?
Okay, so at the last update for Doom Eternal, they put in Denuvo anti-cheat software. Denuvo is a company that's most famous for making anti-tamper software, which essentially just makes it hard to pirate video games. This is the PC version as well, too, so console people, don't worry about this. You're safe. But they implemented anti-cheat software that is kind of egregious and really slowed down, or apparently really was slowing down people's entire computers, dropping their frames per second in the game, just really kind of messing people up. And they there was a big fan backlash, especially from PC players of Doom Eternal, because you still had to be running the anti-cheat software while playing the campaign that has, at this point, no online element to it. And very, as far as, I mean, of all the people I know who play online PC games, not a single one of them plays Doom Eternal Battle Mode. So I don't really know why they felt the need to implement an anti-cheat system at all. But they did one that made it so that you can play the campaign without having it active. There was a big fan backlash, and Marty Stratton, who I don't want to get his position wrong, but he's one of the higher ups at id, basically said that, yeah, we've removed the Denuvo software. We're pulling it down. We may still implement an anti-cheat, but if we do, we're going to implement it so that you do not have to be running or have the Denuvo installed in order to play the campaign for Doom Eternal, which I think is very good news for anyone who's as big a fan of Doom Eternal as I am. If you guys haven't seen my video on our channel, please watch it, because I put a lot of work into that one. And there's DLC, single player DLC coming out sometime soon. So it would have been a real shame if it had to have anti-cheat software that would affect performance. But I think that pretty much covers it.
And I think I pulled up this Reddit post you're talking about, Mark, so we can go into the details as well. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Well, yeah, I'm liking this trend of listening to the fans. We're seeing a small little trend of responding to fans, but again, I'm not here to be the moral arbiter or anything, but if instead of telling people to go fuck themselves, like we often do, except for Naughty Dog, because we can always tell Naughty Dog to go fuck themselves. But when we see things that we're unhappy about, give some arguments with substance, and try to explain it from a perspective that makes sense. It seems like these companies are starting to understand. Not all of them, and there's gonna be some of them that are never gonna listen no matter what. But it's clear that fans are having their voices heard from certain aspects. Sonic, release a Snyder Cut. There you go, Lethal. There you go, Ryan.
That's right.
We have this situation. So again, it's another small win for fans to be heard. So I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, you're right. It's the bigger picture. It's these little things. I don't play Doom, but this news makes me very happy for people like Mark and just in general being a fan. Like these little things. Some of them are obviously bigger wins than others, but at the end of the day, it's all, we're all going in the same direction. Well, we're all trying to, and things like this, it's stepping stones.
Yep.
And I think the fact that so many people are communicating through Reddit posts now, I do find interesting. But like, this is a great post because he comes out, they're very transparent, and they say, hey, this was our intention. This is why we did this. We realized that there were some problems and that you guys have problems with it, and this is what we're doing. Because they list out right here, our team's original decision to include Denuvo anti-cheat was based on a number of factors. Protect battle mode players from cheaters, but establish consistent anti-cheat systems on things ahead. So not just necessarily for this, but games that will develop in the future. Establish cheat protection in the campaign now in preparation for a future launch of Invasion, which is a blend of campaign and multiplayer. So that, to you, Mark, is one of those answers why most people just play campaign, but they're coming out with this new mode. Kernel level integrations are typically the most effective. Denuvo's integrations met our standards. Players were disappointed in Doom 2016 with our delay in adding anti-cheat. So those are all the reasons they wanted to do it. It just didn't work out. And this bolded thing. We've heard a lot of feedback. With that, we will be removing the anti-cheat technology from the game in our next PC update. So all in all, a huge win, especially from, I feel like Bethesda is kind of a punching bag in a lot of ways for good reasons for some of the things they've done. But, it's awesome when, just like we've been talking about with the Snyder Cut stuff, anytime, regardless of whether you like Bethesda or not, anytime a company does that and respects the fans, it is a good thing.
That post, just that Reddit post itself was great. They were very respectful. They outlined their train of thought, as clearly as they could. They broke it down, gone, this is what we were aiming for. This is what we wanted to do. This was why we did it. And you guys are saying this, and we've taken that into consideration. And yeah, you guys are right. So we're going to remove it. That was a brilliant post.
As far as Bethesda executive goes, Marty Stratton's kind of the opposite of Pete Hines. Like Pete Hines releases statements where he's like, what the fuck do you guys have a problem with this? Like he'll swear and just be like, you guys are pissed that we announced Elder Scrolls 6 and we haven't said anything about it? That game's coming out in like 2028. Leave me alone. Whereas Marty Stratton's like, hey, everybody, here's why we did what made you angry. We're sorry. And we fixed it. And like, I don't understand why some executives are so much more tone deaf than others, but that seems to be the Bethesda duality.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because we were talking on this podcast last week about what Pete Hines said about Elder Scrolls 6. Like, what do you want, a cookie? Like, basically what he was saying, go F yourself.
Hey, no, Mark, I love the campaign on Doom Eternal. I haven't finished it yet, but is there a multiplayer now, or is there?
I guess I should explain that invasion stuff because that wasn't in the game at all when my review happened. I actually thought it was and just thought I never got invaded. But if anyone's ever played a Dark Souls game or Bloodborne, not Sekiro, that's the From game that doesn't have this. Invading is when you as a player break into another player's campaign and you are essentially a player character type enemy that is attacking them. So basically in the Doom Eternal campaign, another player would be able to invade your game, have a little deathmatch with you, maybe in the middle of you fighting other enemies, but there would likely be some kind of major experience or unlock point boost that for killing them or for invading someone's team and game and killing them. So it's sort of like a little bit of multiplayer integrated into the campaign. To be honest, I never really thought it was a very good idea for a game like Doom Eternal because it's like, there's even an element in the Dark Souls games where I'll be in like a very difficult area and then get invaded, and it's just like, oh, now I got to deal with some asshole that's like going to try to kill me when like I just want to get to that next bonfire. But you know, some people enjoy it and they want to implement that. So their thing was that we need the anti-cheat in the campaign as well to protect that. But I think they should just give an option to say, okay, no anti-cheat, no invasions. I don't want people messing with me while I'm in the middle of my game, and I don't care about anti-cheat software for a single player game. Where if realistically, if you wanted to throw on a cheat engine code that gave you unlimited ammo, you should be able to do that. I think it's cheating, but you should be allowed to.
And so that is one of the things we're going to be really looking forward to when on the Geeks and Gamers Twitch channel, when Drunk 3PO plays Dark Souls, or any of these things. We're looking to Mark the Cyborg, really walking him through some of these things. So.
It's going to be a beautiful disaster is what it's going to be.
I can't wait for that stream. I really can't.
Yeah. But overall, I think everybody is kind of the same opinion that, however you felt about the anti-cheat software being installed in the first place, which I don't really have too many issues with. It can do whatever it wants to my computer. I don't care. If it affects performance of the game, that's a different story. But however you feel about that, I think all of us pretty much feel that it's a good move from Bethesda for the fans. So I'm happy with it.
On the point of the performance, they also stated that the performance issues were other things that were also put into the update, not the de novo software. So I mean, that might have just been a cover. And I honestly think, like, guys, don't push out an update if it's going to break the game and affect performance. But yeah, it's worth saying, because then that way it's not just de novo bad. Message coming from our podcast, at least.
Yeah, exactly.
But de novo bad. Like, just
all right. Jeremy, Lethal, do you guys have anything else to say on that?
No, I mean, I'm interested to go ahead and finish. And again, there's just so many games going on, and I played Doom Eternal a lot after it released, and I want to get back to it. And just news like this just motivates me to want to get back in playing it even more. Just hearing this. I mean, not that I wasn't enjoying the game, because I very much was enjoying the game. Just kind of got sidetracked. But yeah, I mean, when you hear companies that are, again, they don't have to just point blank blindly listen to fans. Nobody's asking you to do that. All we're asking you to do is have an open mind, and don't call us, toxic man babies, just because fans are requesting something. Fans aren't always right per se, but if there's a general consensus among fans, it's usually grounded in something that makes a lot of sense for your IP. And that's all we're saying.
And the fact it came from Bethesda of all places as well, like that'd be one of the last ones I thought would have done this. It kind of makes me want to play Doom Eternal now, to be honest.
id Software seems to be the shining light in the darkness of Bethesda.
That's true.
Doom Eternal's great. It's. I mean, I'm sure you've played Doom in the past, haven't you, Lethal? So I mean, Doom Eternal's a great. It's a straightforward game. You're not getting no deep story, anything like that. It's all about just ripping people's eyeballs out and chainsawing them down the middle of their face and blood going everywhere. It's fantastic.
It's like a first-person Mortal Kombat game where you're doing one-button fatalities every 4 seconds.
Yeah.
It was more just when it came out, it was just a bit of a bad time as well, because I had a bit of a backlog, and yeah, just bad timing for release on my part, really. That was kind of the main reason why I didn't get it.
Hey, nothing wrong with waiting until a game's on sale. It's what I always try to tell everybody. It's every time I do a review of a game that's like 4 years old, I'm like, still a good game. I think you should play it now. It's probably $5.
That's true. All right, but yeah, I think we're all in consensus. Good job, Bethesda. This time, we'll stand by for the next Pete Hines tweet. And we have had a couple super chats, so let me knock those out before we move on to our next topic. So, Steph from my nerdy home for $9.99 says, "Congrats on getting monetized," and then some party emotes.
Thank you.
So thank you so much. Then we have Matt G for $10.
Thank you, Matt.
Disney is dubbing new dialogue in A New Hope to reference Ahsoka. Instead of Vader choking that guy and saying, "Where are those plans you intercepted?" he says, "Where's that pasty ass bitch Ahsoka?" Thank you, Matt G. Don't give them any good ideas.
Your skin's full on orange.
Jade Shadow for $9.99. Thank you, Jade Shadow. A win for any part of fandom is a win for the fandom itself. Congrats on the monetization with some hearts, and congrats to Jade Shadow for her monetization on her YouTube channel. Yep. I think we might give a shout out to that at the end of the podcast. She is doing a monetization stream tonight, so make sure you guys check her out.
I will stop by. I will make it rain a little bit for her because she's been dealing with the Naughty Dog bullshit too. You know, they struck her, and she's just been a constant, you know, within the fandom menace and a supporter of Geeks and Gamers. So I know she's just real tight with Lethal and Ryan. She's awesome. So please go support her tonight. She's been working really hard to get to that point. So.
Absolutely. That's awesome. And then Ironcaster for $2 says, I want to see Ryan play Mario Maker. God, that sounds about like the worst thing I could possibly imagine. Then he sends another super chat, $2. Ryan must suffer. Mario Maker awaits. God.
Mario Maker is Ryan's Dark Souls.
Mario Maker's fantastic, man. So, you know,
I don't want to play in it. I don't want to play in a game that it was already been created. I won't want to create one for myself. So
the trick with Mario Maker is playing
Mario
other
Maker.
people. Mario Maker. That's how you pronounce Mario. Playing other people's levels, and some of the people that design them are just flat out sadistic. Like they're evil people.
Insanity, dude, it's insanity. Yes, he's right. You know what? I will buy Mario Maker for Ryan to watch him stream it. And he could, if he did it on his Twitch channel, do you know how much, dude, people would fuck you. You think Mario Kart makes you scream? Play some of these levels that people have designed on Mario Maker. Holy fuck.
The trick to it is, though, you can't post a level unless you have completed your own level. So you know that it has to be possible to beat. And some of them will make you think like, no, they must have hacked this somehow.
I'll do it. I'm going to do it. I'm buying Mario Maker on the Switch for Ryan. It's done. It's a done deal.
Can't wait. And we have a super chat from TH3 Mayor for $4.99. On the lighter side of video game news, Super Mario Galaxy 2 turns 10. Nintendo greater than Naughty Don't.
So for Mario Galaxy 2, arguably better than 1, even though I say 1 is better. It's completely up for debate, but 2 of the greatest games ever made, that is not for debate.
Well, and you know, speaking of that, we might as well just get into the Nintendo news right now. Whenever I tell Jeremy, you know, what we're kind of planning on topics for this, he's always like, I gotta find something Nintendo.
You gotta find it, baby. It's there. Everybody's talking about it.
Oh, well, talk about it. Let's hear.
Screen share.
All right.
All right, so we have news of Pikmin 3, not Pikmin, as GameSpot tried to call it with their review and got absolutely ratioed. But Pikmin 3 is a Wii U game, and they're going to port it over to the Switch. That's a rumor. Now, this is all built in with the rumor of the Paper Mario Pikmin 3. Now, also, this has been corroborated by Liam Robertson. He also says that Metroid Prime is the real deal along with Pikmin 3. Now, this also leads into the Mario 3D remasters. All of this is one big story, along with a 2D Metroid, a brand new 2D Metroid. So, huge news for us Nintendo fans. I can't wait. Now, Pikmin 3 is a game I think will greatly benefit from the Switch. It was very underrated. It's a real-time strategy game. It was on the Wii U. Went under the radar, just like almost everything on the Wii U did, because no one bought it, no one played it. Yeah, I know, Mark, you're familiar with Pikmin, right?
Yeah. I played the original one on GameCube.
What'd you think?
Good. It's good. Yeah. It's definitely a very unique game. It's one of those things where you could very much see Miyamoto just being like, hey, I'm going to make a thing that's like not really like other games. And he's done that quite a few times in his career. And I didn't really connect with it the way a lot of people that I knew and were like really hyped about it at the time did. But I was also kind of like, I'm not as like all in on like Nintendo exclusives, need to dig into them. But I found Pikmin very interesting. I'd say it would probably be my best argument for it.
I think there's a huge, I mean, with the install base on the Switch, I think there's a huge opportunity for Pikmin 3 to just blow the hell up big time. But the bigger news for me, because Pikmin's fine, it's a good IP. It's not really my thing, but it's it's got its audience, and I think it could expand its audience. But the Metroid Prime collection coming out on the Switch, get the fuck out of here. And then obviously the 3D Marios. There's a lot of people that be excited about that. I obviously am a Galaxy guy, but Mario 64 being remastered for the Switch is going to blow a lot of people's minds. And then I think, what's the other one? I don't think Sunshine's in that one, which it should be. The rumor is it might be all of them, but either way, more. These rumors just continue we start to see pieces of the puzzle come into development. So I'm happy about it. So hopefully we'll get an official announcement on Pikmin 3 very soon. Then the Metroid Prime collection, then the 3D Marios, then the 2D Metroid, the brand new one, which will be insane if they actually do that. So
I'd sacrifice them all for just the 2D Metroid. That's all I want from Nintendo. Please make another 2D Metroid.
Well, I'm not talking about fucking Fortnite Dark Side droids. But yeah, loving it. So
yeah, I'll be honest, I've never played Pikmin. I've seen it and I'm like, I don't get it. It's not for me, but it fits in line with a lot of other Nintendo stuff that's not for me that also sells millions and millions of freaking copies. So there's definitely an audience out there, and I'm sure the Pikmin fans are going to be really happy about this. And obviously, if we get these Mario remasters like you're talking about, Jeremy, that'll be huge for a lot of people. And that's really cool.
I think the Metroid Prime would actually be the biggest of all of them, honestly. If they re-release the Metroid Prime trilogy is I mean, you've played them, Mark. So
I played the original one. I like Metroid Prime. I think it's.
No, I know you prefer the 2D. I know you.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing, and
as do I.
I think the trick with Metroid Prime is you gotta not think of it as a first-person shooter. It's just a Metroid game in 3D, and the shooting is not particularly good, but it's also not really why you play. It's kind of like lock target shooting. So instead of playing with two sticks where you're like aiming in any direction, I think you're mostly controlling it with just the left GameCube control. Actually, the last time I played Metroid Prime was on a Dolphin emulator with a mouse and keyboard, so I may be remembering this wrong. But it's almost like kind of Zelda style, like Z targeting and like Ocarina of Time, where like you lock onto the enemy and then you can kind of circle strafe them because you have the target locked. But I remember it feeling a little weird. What I do remember it nailing, though, was jumping in first person. Now, this was like a long time before games like Dying Light. So what Metroid Prime did that was really, really cool is it craned the camera down a little bit as you were mid-jump. And that did so much to make it easier to figure out where you were going to land. Because previously in first-person shooters, if you jumped, you're just kind of still looking straight ahead. And then often you'd miss more complicated jumps. But yeah, Metroid Prime, though, it's solid. And I think that it's been so hard to play those games since, like, I guess even the original Wii Metroid Prime collection was so hard to find. I remember that selling on eBay for like $200.
I refuse to play it.
Yeah, like
I hated playing almost everything on the fucking Wii just because of the motion control.
Yeah, so I think a Switch version, I guess I'll kind of wrap this up. The Switch version, I think, will do quite well, and I look forward to revisiting them myself because maybe my opinion on them will change. I just remember being like, yeah, this is okay, but Metroid Fusion's better.
Did you see Mahler? What was Mahler playing yesterday?
I don't know.
He was playing a Mario game on the Dolphin emulator, but it's not a Mario game I recognize. Like, it was a 3D Mario game. But it was like I think it was a fan created game or something.
I could check that out in another window and let you know later on.
It had elements of Galaxy and Super Mario Sunshine and other Marios, but so I don't know what it was. So was it just Sunshine? No, it wasn't just Sunshine, was it? I must have clicked on something different then because I saw it was going on during my stream with Friday Night Tights, so I kept clicking back. So first I saw Sunshine. I could have swore I saw Galaxy. Was I wrong? Maybe I was wrong.
Watching.
Oh, okay, my bad.
The emulator emulates both GameCube and Wii games, so it could have been Galaxy also.
I thought I saw him playing Galaxy at one point though, so that's why I got confused. So, but again, I was during Friday Night Tights, so
multitasking, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Has to be doing something else.
And somebody, I was doing something else too. I was commenting on another. I was setting up my Premiere at the same time. So then somebody accused me of multitasking. So you have no idea how much multitasking I'm doing. So All right.
There you go.
On Mahler or Mueller, I can't tell you.
No, it was not. It was live on Mahler, but he probably put it on Mueller. So I have to go back.
That doesn't look like it's up yet.
Well, we'll take a look for it later. But end of the day, Nintendo continues to do a lot of things that people are asking for, and hopefully we will get those things closer to the end of the year that everybody wants, those Mario Galaxies and that Metroid Prime. Yep. And we do have a couple more. Oh, Lethal, did you have anything to say about Nintendo and Pikmin?
Oh no, I'm out of my league on this one. I'll leave this one to this guy over here, Jeremy.
There you go.
You need. Should I buy Lethal Lightning and Switch right now?
Yes.
Oh no.
Are you gonna play it? Are you gonna play it if I buy it for you?
I'll play the fuck out of it. Yeah, but no.
I'm buying Lethal Switch and I'm buying him Mario Maker. I'm buying you Ryan Mario Maker. So
I want the robe. That's what I want.
Huh?
I want the robe.
The robe, that's right. He's already been promised the robe. Now you're promising him a Switch. We do have a couple super chats here. Let's see. So, Wario fan, you deleted this one, but I'm going to read it anyway. Mega Dittos, Gaming with Geeks, Raging Ryan on Mario Maker for the win. I don't know why it was deleted, but there it is.
I honestly want to buy Racing with Ryan.
God.
That game looks so bad.
That one seems awful. Johnny the Whiz Kid for $20. There's a hoodie of Tails from the Sega shop with a background that reminds people of the Japanese army from World War II, and now they want it removed because of that. Thoughts on it? I have actually seen that tweet, and I see how it might remind people a little bit of it. It's just red and white. I think people are making too big of a deal about it personally. That's just my opinion. I don't know if you guys have seen that or not, but
I didn't, but I saw a similar thing with apparently there's an English fashion brand called Boy that's got like an eagle as its logo, and people were getting canceled for wearing it because it looks like the Nazi SS eagle. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
There's like picture of like Rihanna wearing a shirt that's like has the logo all over. It's like, I guess she's a Nazi now.
I personally, I didn't see a big problem with it. If it's really bad, if so many people are getting offended, then I guess maybe they might end up taking it down, but I'm not sure. Larry for $2. Congratulations on monetization, all of you at Geeks and Gamers. Thank you very much, Larry. Thanks for being such a big supporter. Darkside Droids for $19.99 says $20 for man pawns. After Jeremy got upset about the kids game comment, maybe.
I don't get upset about that. Your fucking name is Darkside Droids. Like that's the biggest criticism of Star Wars fans is we're all into kid stuff. And that's what you guys say about Nintendo. It's the same argument that the people that don't know Star Wars use against Star Wars fans. So people that don't know Nintendo use that against Nintendo fans. The hypocrisy is the hilarious part of it.
Pauly D for £3. Favorite Zelda game, guys? Do you think the gameplay for Last of Us 2 might be so good that it will level out the awful sounding story? Wishful thinking.
No. Gameplay never strong point.
Well, speaking honestly, maybe the gameplay in Last of Us might be pretty good. Like I don't think I think the worst thing we could do in our arguments against that game and its choices is being like, oh, Last of Us just bad flat out and not having any subtlety to the argument. It will probably be a good game while you're playing it. The cinematics are probably going to look fantastic. The story choices, we won't go into them obviously, but to me seems strange. And
we can talk about how Abby beats the fuck out of Joel with the golf club. I don't give a fuck because fuck Naughty Dog, fuck Neil Cuckman, fuck Sony, fuck these motherfuckers. You're gonna strike me down again for fucking dropping the truth? Fuck you, motherfuckers. Sorry.
Okay, I just didn't want to be the one that did it, but now that the boss did, so Abby, go. Abby, get the 9 iron.
Fuck these bastards for all they're doing. Murta still, did she get her strike? Like
her strike is lifted.
A Link to the Past is the best Zelda game, though.
Fuck
it's a Link to the Past.
Did you see that?
Sorry.
Did you see that Last of Us 2 is going to have a dedicated jump button?
Yes, finally. It's what we've waited through all of the Last of Us games to be able to jump.
Well, that's because all the people that buy it are going to want to jump off a building after they get it. That's what I've always assumed. But,
yeah, I mean, I think so. The thing I liked about The Last of Us was the storytelling. That wasn't necessarily the gameplay. I was never blown away by the gameplay. It's fine. It's not bad, but the storytelling is what carried it. And so if you have a problem with storytelling, and again, the way it all plays out, the fact you have to play as this character, this this It Is Man character and all that, it's not going to be good. It's not. So, but if you're excited for it, I'm happy for you. I'm not.
It's definitely not going to blow anybody away. It will be the standard Sony exclusive third-person adventure game with stealth elements, which is pretty much what you could apply to almost any exclusive they have, except for maybe Detroit Become Human. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to be very polished. It doesn't mean it's not going to be probably quite a bit of fun to play when you're like stalking around and killing some people, stabbing them in the neck. It looks like the gory kills are going to be pretty cool, but the reason I'm not buying it, the reason I canceled my pre-order is 100% because of the way they've treated our channel and Jeremy's channel and Ryan's channel and Lethal's channel. And it's more of a moral and personal reason I'm not playing it. The secondary one being, I think the story choices sound insane. And it doesn't seem to me that even a studio as good as Naughty Dog, as far as their output is gone, I don't think they're going to be able to pull off that story and make me like it. I guess if that makes sense. But,
to answer the question, though, A Link to the Past is my favorite and Mark's. I doubt Ryan or
Jeremy, we agree on a Nintendo thing.
Ocarina of Time is the one that I played the most.
Yeah, same.
Sure. I played a little bit of one of the ones for GameCube.
Twilight Princess or Wind Waker?
Wind Waker.
Wind Waker is my favorite 3Ds.
You had to do different stuff with the wind.
Yeah.
The cartoon,
that one.
Sailboat one.
Yeah, exactly. I remember that one a little bit. And then I played Breath of the Wild, like a couple hours of it. Then I was like, man, I'm done.
That game's amazing. Breath of the Wild's amazing. What were you going to say, Lee? You were about to say something.
Yeah, I was just trying to remember what it was called. But yeah, Ryan said it there. I was trying to remember what the game was called. But I did just look at the Sonic, the T-shirt, the jumper.
Yeah.
Mate, that's a stretch and a half. That's Mr. Fantastic levels of stretching.
Yeah, exactly. For people to get the World War II Japanese flag from that, I think it's a little ridiculous, but it is what it is. That's how people think nowadays. We've got a big super chat from Subhuman84, the man. Congrats on being monetized. Keep up the great content. Much love to you guys, and fuck Naughty Dog. That is right. Thank you, Subhuman.
I mean, I was messing with Dark Side Droids, but like Subhuman, Dark Side Droids, Biggles Mets, Culture Casino, and that's not to say that there's not so much more support too. It's incredible. We really, I have no words other than to say thank you guys so much for not only the support you give directly to Geeks and Gamers, but everybody else affiliated with Geeks and Gamers too. It's absolutely insane. So thank you.
That's right. Thank you, Subhuman. Appreciate you, man. Paulie D for 2. Is that €2? Is that what that is? €2. Joel in 1. Who's your caddy? Let's see. Who's gonna be my caddy? Fluff. God, I forget his name. Tiger Woods. No, Phil Mickelson's first caddy. No, Tiger Woods. I forget his name. But the guy with the big mustache. That's who I'm thinking of. Do you guys care?
I'm trying to think of who you're talking about. Yeah, this is part of the show where me and Ryan. Yeah, this is the part of the show where only me and Ryan know what's going on. There's usually like usually points in the show where not all 4 of us know everything about it, but like at least 2 of us know what's going on, and the other 2 are like, what?
Usually it's when Mark's talking.
I don't know a lot about pro golf. I know even less about pro golfers' caddies. I didn't even realize that was a thing that like people were aware of. Like, isn't the caddy just the person that carries the clubs around?
The longest, most worded answer about something he knows nothing about better than anybody I've ever met.
Yeah, I've got a serious case of the tism.
The only caddy I can think of is the one that's the homeless guy in the Adam Sandler movie.
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
That's a pretty good one. And then another €5 from Paulie D. People thought switching to Raiden from Snake and Metal Gear Solid 2 was controversial.
Oh, yeah.
See, the thing is, though, okay, I'll launch into a little thing about Metal Gear Solid 2 if you would like. I'm a big Metal Gear fan. So Snake was not destroyed in any way when that happened. In fact, being able to play as Raiden and then seeing Snake from another angle, because Solid Snake is still a big part of the story for the rest of the game, made Snake cooler, not worse. It didn't Jake Skywalker him at all. It was just all of a sudden it's like you're this rookie elite soldier guy and you see all these amazing things that the legendary soldier is doing, and you're doing your best to be able to help him out. And the part at the very end of the game where you team up with Snake and it's you two fighting all the people on Arsenal gear side by side, it's amazing. It's not you take over as Raiden and then Raiden just after Raiden kills Snake, and then it's like, okay, now you're playing as Snake for the rest of Raiden for the rest of the game. But yeah, that's it. And communication.
Yeah. Well, there it is. And then also Biggles Mets says, Ryan, you wouldn't pick me as your caddy? Sad face. Well, Biggles, if I knew you wanted to carry my bags, of course you can play, or you can carry my bags while I play. Of course I would pick you as my caddy, Biggles. Now, with that being said, super chats are knocked out. Lethal, you wanted to talk about something, PlayStation Productions. So tell us a little bit about PlayStation Productions.
All right, in the most basic sense, it seems like it's a studio that they're putting together with the sole focus of taking their own IPs and putting them onto the screen, whether it be for a streaming service or to the cinema or who knows. But an example I'll give is, we were talking a little bit before the stream started with the Uncharted movie that's been in like production hell. And it didn't really start to kick off until PlayStation Studios or Productions, whatever they're called, came along and started to gear it up. And they're talking of doing like multiple different IPs. They said that like we got 100 different things to choose from. There's talk of a Sly Cooper TV show, kind of like a CGI animated, similar to the Ratchet and Clank movie. Of course, we're getting the HBO Max Last of Us 2 series, which we're all signing up to HBO Max immediately because we cannot wait for that masterpiece from Neil Druckmann.
Well, it's going to be that's going to be very interesting, Lethal, because that's going to have some goodwill behind it. One, because it's Last of Us, and two, because it's also being co-produced by the guy who did Chernobyl, which has a lot of good feedback. So it's going to be that guy and Neil Druckmann working together on The Last of Us.
And there was also talk. Now these are very like rumor, like Mike Zero rumors, but there might be some truth behind them. Horizon Zero Dawn series.
Or movie, yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn sounds expensive for a series.
Yeah.
For those who are not aware, this is a game about a post-apocalypse in which the world is patrolled by robot dinosaurs. Not awesome. Something you can pull off without visual effects, and a lot of them.
I only recently purchased Horizon Zero Dawn. I haven't really gotten too far into it. I've heard nothing but phenomenal things about
it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I think that it's a really well done game, and it really pulls you into the story and the world. And like Mark said, the idea of them doing something like that with these, cybernetic dinosaurs, essentially, you can't do it with cheap effects or no effects. Like it would have to be something that have to be reasonably well done. So it's going to be tough for me to imagine them putting that much money, but that is what we have heard.
Even the small ones are pretty big too.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. Maybe it's some sort of animated thing too. Maybe it's not live action. Maybe that's animated as well, because a lot of the other things we've heard about from PlayStation Productions, like the Sly Cooper TV show, like the Twisted Metal show, I think that is animated as well, isn't it?
I'm not too sure about that one.
Yeah, Twisted Metal is like a dark sort of anime Castlevania style show. I think that would work well.
Yeah, that's how I could kind of see it. That would be pretty incredible if it was.
Mike Zero is a gift to humanity. We do not speak ill of Mike Zero here. Mike Zero is just Mike Zero. He doesn't care, and the fact that it just upset so many people on Twitter is the best part of it. But I just find him pure entertainment. So
do I. Like, there's not giving a fuck, and then there's Mike Zero. So you gotta respect that. You gotta respect that level.
That's true. Yeah, and it's interesting. We saw the PlayStation Studios logo reveal the other day. Jeremy made a video about it and how they ended up turning off likes and dislikes. I'm not sure why they did that. I don't know why so many people were upset about it. It's just like, yeah, is it like Marvel? Yeah, it's like Marvel, but Marvel kind of set a standard for these like connected universe kind of things, and I thought it looked fine. The PlayStation Studios is basically like, as it's going to its logo, it has all of these images from The Last of Us, from Horizon Zero Dawn, from God of War, Spider-Man, all these things that are PlayStation exclusives, and that with this PlayStation Productions is another they want to capitalize on their IPs. And when I think of PlayStation, when I think of the PlayStation consoles, I think of their IPs. I don't think about this box that's sitting in front of me. I don't think about the controller. I think about the IPs, and especially that's the advantage that they have right now, especially compared to Xbox. Still, with all the stuff we've talked about with Xbox and PlayStation, what console specific IPs does Xbox have other than Halo? That's the only one that really so many people.
Honestly, probably their best-selling one this generation, I think, has probably been Forza Horizon. As much as like people don't really think of racing games as being like that big a deal, like the Forza Horizon games is. I'm not a crazy fan of the motorsport games, but the Horizon games are all a lot of fun. Like they're really solid kind of open world racing games where you can very easy going. You can just kind of jump in and play for a little while. It's good. They're beautiful too.
I think I've asked. I'm sorry, Lethal. I think I've asked this question before. What happened to Gears of War? I mean, I played Gears 1, 2, and 3, if I'm not mistaken. 3 came out on Xbox 360. Correct?
Yeah, it was one of the last Xbox 360.
And I don't think I played one since then. And I love those games, but wasn't there?
They're being made by a different studio now, kind of similar to how Halo moved from Bungie to 343 Industries, which was a studio that was opened up specifically to make Halo games. Gears of War went from being Epic Games, who their most recent game is a thing that I know some people like, this Fortnite game. I don't know, I hate it. But and a studio called the Coalition opened. Coalition is actually one of the factions in Gears of War. So a studio called the Coalition opened, and their only job is to work on Gears of War games. They've made Gears of War 4 and Gears of War 5 so far. And now Gears 5, because the series is no longer called Gears of War. That's too angry. So it's now just Gears. I think that's silly, but I guess it does kind of change the acronym to not be GOW and have people mix it up with God of War. But I played Gears of War 4, and it was pretty good. I actually didn't finish it, but I enjoyed what I played of it. And I haven't got around to playing Gears of War 5, but I think Rags played it, and he said it was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I love the first 3 Gears games. They're fantastic. Kind of sad that I fell off on them. But anyway, Lethal, you were going to say something.
I was just going to touch on how, Mark, you mentioned the Horizon games for Xbox. It's kind of funny you mentioned that, because one of the scrapped movies was a Gran Turismo movie.
I mean, like Days of Thunder was a pretty solid flick. Like you can make a movie about car racers. That's good. And Ford versus Ferrari, great movie.
Oh, Ford versus Ferrari is fantastic. It's not really about cars, though. I mean, it is, but it's more so about the dynamic and the relationship, with those two guys. But I mean, if they made a Gran Turismo movie, the first thing I think of is that Doom movie where they just put The Rock in it. So just make Gran Turismo, put The Rock in it, and there you go. Like just all about just the name and having The Rock. Even though I never saw that movie, though. I heard it was awful.
I mean, it's campy and stupid, but the first person scene at the end's pretty solid. I think, though, the funniest thing if they have a trailer for Gran Turismo with The Rock is it'll be a solid minute and a half into the 2-minute trailer that people realize it's not a Fast and the Furious movie.
Yeah. What was that one with Aaron Paul? What was that?
Need for Speed.
I never saw that one. How was that?
Also a video game based racing movie that, or no, I guess it was mostly just a Fast and Furious movie. Just they called it Need for Speed. I never saw it, but I've heard nothing but poor things about it. Apparently, it's just...
I played in the first Need for Speed game I played, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I'm not getting this wrong, but it was on the Panasonic 3DO. Remember the 3DO?
Yep. Actually, I
And
really wanted one when I was a kid.
man, I felt like, I mean, for a week, I was the coolest kid in the neighborhood when I had my 3DO, and everybody was like, "Holy shit, Jeremy's got a 3DO. His parents are rich," which we weren't. But I was just, I don't know how. I think I finally got a good grade, and I talked him into buying me a 3DO for like whatever it was. But I had Demolition Man, which was a fantastic game because it had like the movie clips, and it was, you know, it was kind of like one of those arcade shooters. I had Jurassic Park Interactive, and I had Need for Speed. And for a week, I was the coolest kid ever. And then they stopped coming over after about a week. So like, all right, this fuck.
Panasonic 3DO and Atari Jaguar were the ones where we thought we knew they existed and they were supposed to be the best consoles ever, but no one knew anyone who even had one. We were like,
And I want to buy another 3DO. I loved that system, man. It was great. So
nice. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think that as far as the PlayStation productions goes, like Lethal was talking about, all those potential projects they have in the works could be really cool. Obviously, we have our issues with some of the things that Sony's been doing, you know, over the past couple of weeks. But a lot of those IPs, like you said, if they do some sort of Horizon Zero Dawn thing, I think that'd be absolutely incredible. A God of War, like a God of War movie or something like that, could be awesome as well. So who knows what the possibilities are endless. We know
Jason Momoa is Kratos, dude. Shave his fucking head and just Jason Momoa is Kratos. Can you imagine that? Like, why is that not happening right now? Why is that not happening?
maybe
I mean, right now you're at a point where Kratos and God of War are probably as popular as they've ever been. You know, maybe if you want to go back to 3 when it might have peaked, but you know, you're coming off the more recent God of War 2. I mean, I don't understand it. Jason Momoa is Kratos. Why is this not happening right now?
they got to start it in Greek mythology though. Like go right back and show like the entire PS2, PS3 God of War saga, and like have it lead into the Norse stuff.
Yeah,
that would be awesome, actually. But there's so much they can do because you can't deny that they have collected these IPs that are very cared about. Even Naughty Dog with this Uncharted movie, which I think is going to be absolute trash, to be quite honest with you. What's that? Yeah, Tom Holland. Tom Holland is supposed to be Drake with Mark Wahlberg as Sully. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what is...
Wahlberg was cast as Drake when they originally started making this movie with the guy who did, the director of Three Kings. His name's slipping my mind right now, but that actually sounded like a pretty solid crew. And now we've gotten to the point that was so long ago that now Wahlberg is playing Sully.
I like Tom Holland. I do. I don't like his Spider-Man movies. And I don't necessarily like how his Peter Parker Spider-Man is written, but I like his performance. I think he gives a good performance. But as Drake, what? This, good Lord, this seems like and again, I like my cheesy Disney, movies and stuff like they come on the Disney Channel. It seems like Disney Channel exclusive Uncharted movie with Tom Holland, where he's gonna be making quippy one-liners and he's gonna be acting kind of clueless and whimsical. What?
We all know that the Young Indiana Jones series was far superior to Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and Last Crusade. Everyone knows it. But Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was obviously the best one.
Well,
I'm kidding. I'm very much kidding. That was all wrong.
What's that, Lethal?
Wasn't there a fan film with Nathan Fillion doing Uncharted?
It was like 2 minutes.
It was really good.
And it was awesome. It was awesome. That would be really cool if they brought Nathan Fillion in. At the way Naughty Dog is going, I would imagine that, even if we do get a next, Uncharted, it'll be, Uncharted 5, Drake's transition, something like that.
It'll be his daughter from the end of 4. It'll just be Tomb Raider at that point.
So who knows? Whatever iteration that we do get out of Naughty Dog probably won't be very good anymore. Now that Amy Hennig has left, Naughty Dog, and she wasn't a part of Uncharted 4. That was Neil Druckmann, and that's why we had some of the focus on the female characters, as well as changing Drake's offspring to a female as opposed to a male. All those decisions. Neil Druckmann.
Well, I know people mention like, and again, from an acting perspective, I do not think this is a good idea. People mention like Triple H as Kratos. I've got some breaking news here, Geeks and Gamers. I don't want, breaking news, but my sources have informed me that Triple H has been cast as Abby in an upcoming Last of Us Part 2, Par 4 movie. I'm just saying, Abby, Triple H, I think that's about perfect casting right there. I can't wait to see this movie. Congrats to Neil Druckmann. Very brave, very stunning. So unfortunately, Triple H was up for 2 different roles. He was up for Kratos and Abby, and he says, well, Kratos is a little skinny compared to Abby, so I'm gonna go with Abby. So congrats to Triple H for that. So.
I can picture it, him walking out of the golf club and all the fireworks going off around him and the music playing.
Well, I mean, they're gonna use the face capture technology, and Greta Thunberg is going to be playing Abby's face.
Well, I mean, wouldn't it be perfect? You start The Last of Us Part 2, and you just hear "Time to play the game."
How dare you? How dare you?
Sense. It all makes sense.
How dare you? And I do actually. Let me see if I can find it really quick, because I think I have. I actually have the first screen cap of this movie. This is exclusive content right here from Geeks and Gamers. This is why you tune in. This is the first screen cap of Triple H as Abby chasing Az from Hill versus Babyface.
For our podcast listeners, we have a macho man Abby behind, very, very jacked up, carrying a golf club. I believe it's a driver, chasing a portly looking man. What is this from? This is from a movie, but I don't know who it is, but it's Az photoshopped on there with a face looking crooked, like he's screaming, holding Lysol wipes. Interesting.
That made me laugh so hard my leg fell off. I'm not even kidding.
Oh, no. God, too much shaking evidently from Mark. But at the end of the day, the PlayStation, they've got a lot of solid IPs that I think a lot of people would be really interested in watching things done on HBO Max with them. Depends on what it is. I will obviously have HBO Max in the very near future for other reasons. So maybe I'll get to see some of those and judge for myself. You guys have anything else on that, Lethal?
Nah. I'm just looking forward to what they could possibly come up with and go from there.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so let's hit some of these super chats here. Now I missed one from Paulie D earlier because he's been very generous, flooding the chat with super chats. For €5, he says, Ryan, does your rage help you win or is it holding you back? It helps me win. That never holds me back from anything. Someone in chat says Ryan Kennel, and you keep spelling my name wrong. That's why I haven't fucking acknowledged you yet, Joe. You keep saying Kennel. That's not how you spell it. Spell my name right, and I'll say the whole thing.
Ryan Kennel is his fursona.
Yes. Oh God. Paulie D for another €5. Or no, sorry. Biggles Mets. No, I said that one. Shit. Here we go. Paulie D for €10. I didn't explain the Metal Gear Solid 2 question well. I meant the people that had thought the Metal Gear Solid 2 character switch was crazy will forget it after The Last of Us 2. What game are you best at versus each other or solo? What game am I best at?
I don't know. It's hard to say. It's like, what game are you currently in practice at?
Like, is this like multiplayer or just a single player?
That's another thing too, because I think by and large I'm better at single player games than I am at multiplayer games. But
off the top of my head, the 2 best games for me is Double Dash, Mario Kart Double Dash, and Tecmo Super Bowl.
Tecmo Super Bowl.
Tecmo Super Bowl, baby. Randall Cunningham, give me Randall Cunningham. Boom, all day long. I'll kill it with the Philadelphia Eagles on that game.
Yeah, I would say maybe it's been a long time since I played NBA 2K.
I'm phenomenal at Titanfall 2 as well. I'm not the best at it, but I'm really good at that game. So
I don't know what game I'm good at. I don't know.
Single player, I'd say Sekiro Shadows Die Twice would probably be the most difficult game that I'm very proficient at. I've finished it more times than I would care to even admit, but mostly because I had to capture a lot of footage for it for a video, so I had to run through it again. But And then I guess for multiplayer, right now, the only game that I'm super in practice with is Valorant. I'm not incredible at it or anything, but I've been playing a fair amount of it, so I guess I'm all right.
Are you up from the iron rating yet?
No, the last few games I've been playing have been in unranked. I was actually playing with Biggles Mets yesterday. Yeah. Oh, 2 days ago. I don't know. What day is it now? No, it was Thursday. It was definitely
Sunday.
Thursday.
What about you, Lethal?
I think the best game I've ever been at was at my peak of Halo 3. I was a fucking savage at that. I played that a lot, and I got really good at Halo 3. But at the moment, shit, I don't know, man.
We need to play some Halo on Twitch. We really do. We need to play some Halo. I don't care which one. I mean, I was never an expert at those games, but I do enjoy them. So I'd have to get Mark or you to set it up, Lethal.
I've got a PlayStation.
Are they on PC?
Yep.
Oh, you
PC
only
and
have-
Xbox.
Lethal doesn't have an Xbox.
Currently, PC, you've got Halo Reach, Halo Combat Evolved, and Halo 2. 3 should be coming out in a couple months.
Cool. Tempting. At the moment, I don't know. That's very difficult at the moment. What have I been playing?
Lethal's pretty good at COD.
Yeah, COD. I'll go with COD. Yeah.
Lethal's pretty good at COD. And we'll say that. So thank you for the super chat, Paulie D. And then you have another one for €2. Hot take: Metal Gear Solid 3 is the best one.
I agree.
Adam, pretty sure you were racing the other night when I won like 7 in a row at Mario Kart 8. Just saying. Pretty sure you were there.
Metal Gear Solid 3 poster right here.
I don't think I'm good at Mario Kart 8 because fuck these new Mario Karts because they're designed for idiots like Ryan to win them. So,
you shouldn't have let me play. Then I wouldn't beat you so much, Jeremy. If you'd never made me play, I wouldn't beat you.
Like 4 races out of about 400.
We'll see. We'll check our stats next time. I bet I'm like I don't know. If you can check it right now, you can try it. Then Biggles Mets says, for $5, Gears of War is still fantastic. Coalition is amazing company. Gears Tactics is the newest one. I love that franchise so much. And I do see Biggles playing Gears Tactics a lot over on his Twitch channel. So that is awesome, Biggles.
Isn't Tactics made by Splash Damage, though? And like Coalition was just supporting them on it? I may have to look that up, but I was pretty sure that Splash Damage, who made Dirty Bomb and the Quake 4, I think Quake 4 multiplayer and a couple other things. I'm pretty sure they're the ones who developed Tactics.
Sorry.
I'm not sure. But there you go. That's awesome, Biggles. Then Paulie D for $5 says, Ryan, you never read my super chat about your rage. Is it holding you back from greatness? Does your high levels of testosterone need an out? Yeah, I definitely... I would even say when I was going to the gym, I don't think I was any less ragey. So I just don't have an outlet right now. That's very true.
I won 467. You won 168.
So all right. So you're beating me 80% of the time. So
that's pretty high.
I'm working my way up.
I was up front. Probably out of those 168 wins, I was probably in front like 150 of those, and a fucking blue shell hit me, and you probably got a fucking bullet and probably passed me. So congrats, Ryan. You're so good.
A win's a win, bitch. You do the same to me. But Mario fan
266 to 55 on Mark, just so we're keeping score.
Oh yeah, I beat Mark's ass. So.
Yeah, I'm not particularly great at Mario Kart.
That's right. That's why he pronounces it Mario. Wario fan 76 for $5 says, I like PlayStation Studios better when it was called Xbox Game Studios. Hashtag F Soini F PlayStation 5. Thank you, Wario fan. That's pretty good. Whatever that Xbox or that Halo movie we were supposed to get. Remember that?
Oh,
yeah.
That's
I think the series now, Showtime. Showtime's making a Halo TV show.
Like, casting is so important for a lot of this stuff. Like, for instance, I don't know if Ryan and Mark know anything about Half-Life 2, the greatness, one of the greatest games ever made. But you got Bryan Cranston. You know, he could be Gordon.
Oh my god, yeah, he would be so good.
Gordon Freeman. Like, at this age right now, he could be the perfect Gordon Freeman. You already have a fantastic story with Half-Life 2, one of the great stories in the history of video games. And then you have the most perfect casting of one of the best actors on the planet. and just it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating because again, could you name anybody more perfect, Mark?
No, I don't think I could. My bigger like question would be, how would Half-Life work as a movie? It's just so much of the storytelling in it is like geared in you being in the boots of Gordon the entire time and seeing it all through his eyes. But I mean, at the same time, the story is good. The world's amazing too.
It absolutely is. But it's just frustrating because there's this thing about video game movies and how they continue to fail or whatever. Now, obviously, I know we had Sonic recently be really successful. I mean, as much as I don't know anything about World of Warcraft, I enjoyed Warcraft. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't really, but they did a good job of it. But there is a great opportunity for so many of these video game IPs that can be maximized, and I just don't know why they're not taking advantage of it right now. But I guess it's more. I guess there's more red tape with these video game properties than something like, Marvel and DC, yada, yada, yada. You know what I mean? So
what's the name of the chick that played Jon Snow's girlfriend, the redhead?
The actual
she would be perfect for
Aloy. Her as Aloy. That's like
yeah.
That would be perfect. They're married in real life.
Oh really?
At least they were in one. Yeah. Yep.
I like him a bit more now.
Although those sex things bring people together, so that's how it happens. Let's
Rose
see.
Leslie is the name. Rose Leslie is the actress.
Yeah. A couple more super chats here. So Darkside Droids for 19.99 says V-neck money for future videos. That's right. V-neck money. Mark has one on right now?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The exclusively games quarterings website.
Nice. I'm good. So yeah, quartering one's a website called Exclusively Games. So that's cool. I didn't know they had V-neck options. I'll have to check it out. Pauly D for €2. And thank you, Darkside Droids. Someone respects the V-neck. Pauly D for €2 says Halo 3 plasma grenades were the best weapon ever.
Yeah, they were pretty good, man. They were pretty good. They were my go-to.
Nothing quite like sticking someone, especially if you stick someone and then they kill you and you're just like, it's already done.
Yeah. Well, and even now, when you stick someone, like in Call of Duty, you get brought back to like Halo. That's what I always think of, like sticking people in those first games. So
it just had that moment where it just had that sound like, boop, and then you're like, fucking son of a boom.
Two of my favorite weapons ever in video games are the energy sword in Halo and the gravity gun in Half-Life. The gravity gun is just fantastic.
Super gravity gun at the end.
Yeah.
It's the best.
It's so good.
Energy sword.
Why can't we get a Half-Life 3?
Play Alex.
Alex, yeah.
Dude, the ending of Half-Life Alyx has some strong hints. I'll say that much.
I made the mistake of calling Mark when Half-Life Alyx came out, and I said, "Hey, Mark, I really want to play Half-Life Alyx. So what should I do about this VR thing?" Well, after 45 minutes of explaining to me about VR, I hung up more confused than I was before I called.
I gave you every conceivable option at every possible price point and quality level I could.
You gave me so much information. I'm like, I don't even understand what just happened.
I still have an HTC Vive headset you can buy off me if you want.
That sounds about right. Keaton Smith for £2 just bought Maneater, Dolphin, and a GameCube with Sonic DX. There you go. So there you go. You'll be able to play all of those games, Keaton. So
if Maneater wasn't Epic exclusive, I'd probably be playing it right now. That game looks like a lot of fun. I'll play it when it comes out on Steam or GOG, but no, not doing Epic.
I love how dedicated you are to being anti-Epic. Like, I really appreciate it.
It touches on the stuff I was talking about with the Ubisoft TOS. It's like you've got to make the decision of like where you're going to put your foot down on certain things, and you have to be willing to sacrifice things that you might enjoy in order to make that stand, right? So
yeah, you have put the foot down hard and you're prepared to sacrifice everything. You are just like, heart on your shoulder. Fuck Epic. I love it.
For the most part, they are timed exclusives, so it's not really like I'm saying I'm never ever going to play like Control or like any of the other games I've wanted to play that have gone Epic exclusive. I've just made the conscious decision to wait. So that's pretty much it. But Maneater is another one. Put it on the list. A year from now, I'll be playing Maneater. or 6 months. I don't know how
I
long the
salute
term
you,
is.
man. You are a champion with that.
Lethal's all about dedication to whatever it is. If you have a stance, stick with it, basically. And so whatever it is, Lethal will usually respect it.
I'll stop if they stop with the exclusivity deals. Then I'll download the Epic Store and play on it, even if I think their features are kind of still trash. Like you don't have achievements on there is probably the one that bothers me the most. But until then, hard line.
It's a shark. Yeah, it's tough to see those little emojis on the screen. But thank you, Keaton Smith, for letting me know it's a shark. Thunderbolt Vintage for $4.99. Hey, Jeremy, amazing interview last night with Cameron. I shouted out a quick 2-minute video just rooting both of you on and how I will give Cameron's stuff a try. So there you go.
Yeah, we had a great interview, very incredibly well received. So thank you all for supporting that, and shout out to Ryan for a great job on telling me to premiere it. Because I think that was able to create some conversation with everybody. Obviously, people can super chat if they choose to. You don't have to. But a lot of people show their support by that. But I had Cameron in the chat where he was answering questions as the interview is going on. And when I do my interview with Taj Jackson, I'm probably going to do the premiere as well. And then Taj can be in the comments to have feedback with everybody there. So 100%, that was a huge win across the board. So thanks to everybody that supported that.
Yeah, that was awesome. Great interview from Cameron Pasha. Darkside Droids, another $19.99. Ripped jeans money for future videos.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's the thing about ripped jeans. They cost less. There's less material. That's why Jeremy wears them, not because of fashion.
Mainly, so many people have made fun of it, so that makes me go buy more. That's why I always would wear the headphones. They don't make fun of the headphones anymore, so I don't wear them that much. But they were just like they would make a point about my headphones, so I would wear them even when I didn't use them. So that's why I do the ripped jeans. I just buy more. Like, all right.
Well, you had them on the other day because I was calling you and I could barely hear you. You're like, oh, my headphones are just around my neck. So yeah, you must have been wearing them then.
No, I meant like just doing the videos and stuff. But yeah, these are because I use these for phone calls. So because these are the I don't really like in-ear headphones. I like over the ear, and plus these are noise cancellation and they just sound better. You
don't like anything penetrating your ear? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm not Preston Pooper. So.
That's what I was going for.
That's not the ear they went for.
Any holes the goal.
Wouldn't put it past him or through him or whatever.
God. So Max Santiago, $5. Mark Riley is such a little worm. He is all about the Snyder Cut now. Screw that weasel. I'm not even a fan of it, but it's logical. It existed. So
what is he saying now? Because he was so anti it even existing. And it was in such a dismissive way that he used to do it. So what is he saying now?
Well, probably saying I haven't watched that dude in forever, but I mean he's probably saying it exists. Probably like all about it. This whole thing. We are seeing so many people that are deciding to talk about it, even if they haven't talked about it in the past 2.5 years. Even if you have no idea about what Zack Snyder's cut actually is or actually entails. A lot of people are talking out of their ass about it on one side or another just to get attention and clicks. That's how YouTube works, whatever. But
for context, who's Mark Riley though? Because
he's a collider. He's a collider.
Okay. Collider.
Yeah. He's one of these people that one of these elitist fans that basically, if I'm not mistaken, he's one of these people that were like same people that would say like it's a bunch of toxic fans that hate The Last Jedi, one of these people. And again, it just the way he would talk about the Snyder Cut, like the fact that he would just say like it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Why are these people talking about it? You could watch any of Phil Gobb's kind of highlight reels about that. And now I guess he's probably like, oh yeah, I'm so excited, and like I've been very clear on me, like I don't give a shit about this thing, Matt. But I have learned a lot from Lethal and Ryan. I've learned a lot from these guys in terms of like they have not changed my opinions whatsoever. And they're never going to change my opinions. What they have done is they've opened me up to the bigger picture of it, and showing me like their perspective on it and why the whole movement was important, yada yada yada. Because it's real easy to get caught up in arguing with some of these weirdos on Twitter, because they can be relentless and stupid. But there's a very there's a very level-headed approach to this release of Snyder Cut movement when you're not fighting with people on Twitter about it. So
Yeah, but people like you and like Sister Harrow, she's on Twitter. People like you, I think, are the ones I've actually come to respect the most from this entire thing. That can look at these movies and go, I don't like these movies, but holy crap, there is a way bigger picture here, and that's what it's about. Very similar to the Bethesda situation.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. You have a lot of people who they're trying to. I don't know whether they're stubborn, whether they just want to take an anti-position for views or what. But they're definitely exposing who they are, and that they're even people like. Listen, well, some of us aren't in it, but we're around this fan movement. The hashtag Fandom Menace is, a fan thing, and for people to be a part of that for 2.5 years and not understand that another fan movement winning something after 2.5 years, don't think that's important. What are you a part of? You know what I mean? Because that's what it's all about, is fandoms speaking and voicing their opinions. And after 2.5 years of fighting, one was finally heard, and that is important no matter where you are on Zack Snyder's DCEU.
Well, it's important. Like, again, people, I don't fully grasp this, and I've mentioned this many times, but people view us in a lot of the ways that how I used to view Collider, and I used to watch Collider religiously. And I remember when they got, the early access to The Force Awakens, and they were just all, they just felt like they were, the biggest stars on the planet. And it was cool. Like, I was completely envious of the fact that they were at the premiere and everything. And they had all this access. They had all these people they were interviewing, and it's all diminished because they were just, everything they were doing was pro studio. It was never about the fans. It seemed like it was for a while. It seemed like these guys were fans that made it and we can relate to them. And the reality was they were pushing the studio's talking points. And not to bring politics into it, but yeah, it started falling apart in 2016. Orange Man bad. Once the election went the wrong way that they didn't want it to, then they started kind of being more aggressive towards the fans because the studios started being more aggressive towards, the political messaging. And Collider fell apart quickly, very quickly. And it's allowed people like us to rise. And we are fans first and foremost, and we're always going to be fans. I have had so many sponsorship opportunities. I've had Collider reach out to me in the past. Fuck them. I don't care about these people. You know what I mean? I just care about giving my opinion and letting other people on my team give their opinion. And if our opinions line up, they line up. If they don't, they don't. Don't give a shit. It's all about, like, who grew up with that way where you had to have an echo chamber? I remember arguing all day long with my friends, about shit. I was talking to Ryan last night. We're just having a casual conversation. And guess what happened? We started arguing about fucking Snyder movies, and we argued for 20 or 30 minutes on the phone. And finally I was like, all right, fuck it. We do this every time we talk. Every time we talk now, we argue either about Clone Wars or Snyder's DCEU. That's
both.
Or both, and that's what
that's another good example. Clone Wars, that's another good example. I'm with Ryan. I think TCW is bad from a lore and continuity perspective. I think it's a very bad show, but Clone Wars Saved was a big fan win, and I very strongly supported hashtag Clone Wars Saved.
Yep.
Well,
exactly.
Clone Wars kind of got saved twice too, because like the season 6, 6 got picked up by Netflix and released when everyone thought that was just going to die, and then again on Disney Plus for 7. So
The Lost episodes wasn't that great. That Mace Windu Jar Jar episode might be the worst thing I've ever.
Any of the Jar Jar episodes are bad. Like that's what X-Ray Girl's been going through Clone Wars. And I keep on saying, I was like, look, if you see a Jar Jar episode, you can just hit skip because that's what it's not going to be relevant to the overall story, and it will just make you want to quit the show.
I told this to Ryan last night, but I remember Christian Harloff made a comment. I think this is accurate. This is years ago, and he said you'd be watching the Clone Wars and it's going really well. And all of a sudden, there's like this Jar Jar centric episode, and it just feels like George was sitting around going, "Go ahead, throw a Jar Jar episode in there. Fuck these motherfuckers," like just to piss them off, because it is. It's like it's going so well, and you get this Representative Binks bullshit, and you're like, "What?" All right, we're so off topic, but anyway, the point is,
Ahmed Best, we respect and appreciate you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, Bombad General Jar Jar. That is one of the worst. The Gungan Jedi may be the worst episode of the Clone Wars. That one's pretty bad
Darth
too.
Barbie says mean because we're talking about
Sorry. Well, I think she means we're being mean to the chat to bring up Jar Jar. That's probably what she means. And they have one last super chat here from Jack Bauer. Ooh, nice. One of my favorite television series of all time, 24. It says, any of you have PlayStation VR? Iron Man VR demo was sick.
I've been meaning to download the Iron Man VR demo, mostly so I can have actual, like, personally captured footage for the July new release video that it's probably going to be on. But yes, I've been meaning to try the demo. I do have a PSVR, and it is probably the least effective VR headset that I have, but Resident Evil 7 VR is amazing, so it's still kind of worth a purchase. Also, you can get Beat Saber for it, and that is a game that X-Ray Girl is far better than me at. Kind of like Mario Kart.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you guys for the super chats. I think we're going to probably get into the last topic here because we did put it in the title and all of that. Valorant. The Valorant beta is ending. The game is about to be actually released. And it's going to be interesting because of how much artificial excitement has surrounded Valorant when you look at the Twitch views and things like that. Mark is, I think, the only one of us who has actually played it. He was talking a little earlier how he played with Biggles the other day. But, what does all this mean? When's it wrapping up, and when can the general public be expected to be able to play it?
All right, so it's a free-to-play game, and it is launching very shortly after the closed beta is ending. So really, the distinction between beta period and the actual game launch is very minimal. The beta is ending on next Thursday, on May 28th will be the last day of it. And June 5th, I want to say, oh, no, wait, I might be getting my dates wrong now. I did have it, but 5 days after that, it is launching full free-to-play for everybody. I think that Valorant is a very good game. There is still some sort of weird things about the way its anti-cheat software works, although they did give you the ability to remove the anti-cheat software if you want, the catch being that you then cannot play the game because Valorant, unlike Doom Eternal, is an online-only hyper-competitive game, so there is a purpose for the anti-cheat, and if you remove the anti-cheat, you'd just be dealing with hackers. They've even had hackers and cheaters despite the anti-cheat software. The biggest reason to not play it, I would say, though, is that Riot Games, who make League of Legends as well, is 100% owned by Tencent, who is a sort of evil, like, Chinese mega corporation. They're also responsible for Terminator Dark Fate. But if you don't really mind, like, giving some, I guess, attention to Tencent, because theoretically you don't have to give them any money because it's a free-to-play game, I do recommend playing Valorant because it's quite a lot of fun.
There we go.
Pretty much it.
Yeah, and I think it's
Good job, Drunk. Good job. We get a thumbs down the moment you say there's no thumbs down. Good job,
it was probably him.
That's how it works. That's how it works usually when you draw attention to it. But I probably shouldn't have highlighted it. But yeah, Valorant's interesting. It's strange because in a gaming industry where we are so focused on how everything looks right now, and whether it runs at 4K or whatever, or if you're Mark, freaking FPS is all he cares about. It could be 480 as long as it's 165 frames per second.
I will throw a game into 480 to make it 165 frames a second if I have to.
That's literally what I said. And so the idea that Valorant, which is such a relatively cheap, that's the only way you can say it, cheap looking game that doesn't have like maybe this necessarily graphical polish, but still has all these unique competitive gameplay features and that can be played by anybody with a PC or laptop. You don't need a top end rig to be able to play it. I think it's interesting. We'll see how it stays going forward in this highly competitive, online multiplayer. It's not necessarily a battle royale type, but
no, it's not. It's more. We have a video of it on the channel, so if you guys look in the review section, there I did make an impressions video on the Valorant closed beta, and I think I explained it in depth there. But basically, it's Counter-Strike from a functional setup standpoint. It's round based, 5 versus 5. You plant the bomb if you're on the attacking team. You try to defuse the bomb if you're on the defending team, and then after a few rounds, you switch. But
how do you think it's gonna compete in terms of like being a competitive game when there's already stuff like Overwatch, Counter-Strike, and it seems like it's a combination of them two, and there's Overwatch 2 coming out as well? Do you think it's gonna be able to stand against them?
I think it's got an advantage on Overwatch in the sense that being free to play means that it can hit a wider audience on PC, because the thing with Overwatch is it's also on consoles, it's even on Switch. So in sheer numbers, there are probably going to be more Overwatch players. As far as it competing with Counter-Strike Go, though, there's a more interesting question, because I was actually playing with someone yesterday who said that he's playing Valorant because it's like the only game that will run on his computer. And I was trying to suggest some other things, like similar games that would. And I said Counter-Strike, and he's like, oh no, he's like, CSGO like runs like trash on my computer. So I'm like, that's kind of interesting, because that means that Valorant can be tuned in a way to run effectively on a game that on a machine that is not powerful enough to run Counter-Strike. And but I think that ultimately, though, it's just going to be, do you want something that's like a mix of Counter-Strike and a hero shooter with some interesting abilities that you can use, or do you want a more straight up military style real world weapon aesthetic like Counter-Strike has? Personally, though, I played a fair amount of Counter-Strike while I was making my Valorant video, and I prefer Valorant out of the two. Then I'm sure I just lost all the Counter-Strike players here. That's like I said, I'm well aware of the downsides of Valorant, mostly being on the back end business perspective, but I have a lot of fun with the game, and I like it quite a lot. What do you want me to say? Like,
There you go. That's all we want you to say, Mark.
yeah.
So, and do you guys have anything to say on that? I know Lethal and Jeremy haven't really played it too much. I don't know how much you've watched, but
Yeah. I don't know enough about it to even give an opinion or anything.
No.
My video. Oh.
I watched the video. I'm in it. I watched the video. I've watched some of those Twitch girls that wear very little clothing, and she played it for like 2 minutes or whatever. Yeah, so I've seen a bit of it.
there you go. All right. Well, and it will be available for everyone to play. You don't need a key anymore. So there'll be no reason to watch all those Twitch streams to get a key. I want to see how it holds up Twitch viewership wise when it is just available to everyone. That should be interesting. But go ahead. You say something?
No, I said I was agreeing. I said
Oh, gotcha. All right. But we always end with what we're playing, what we have been playing. So Jeremy, why don't you start first? What have you been playing other than Mario Golf?
Rocket League. The reason we've been playing Rocket League is to practice a little bit, because we are going to be playing Rocket League on Ryan's channel tonight.
That's right. Over on my Twitch channel, we'll be playing a little Rocket League.
Yep. So I've been trying to play that a little bit. I'm not great at Rocket League. I'm okay at it. Nothing great. So we'll see how that all plays out. But mainly Rocket League and Mario Kart 8. That's about it. So I do want to show everybody something really quickly if I can. I'm trying to pull it up really quick. I'll wait till the end because I know we're trying to do the whole podcast bit. But yeah, that's it. Just Rocket League. And we are going to be playing Rocket League tonight on Ryan's Twitch channel. Myself, Mark, X-Ray Girl, Siobhan, Jesse, Exaggeration Nation, Tugs might be there. We'll have a full crew. It's going to be fun. So
that should be fun. I think we're going to try to move it up an hour to about 9 Eastern. About 9 Eastern if we can do it, because Mara has her stream at 10 that I want to make sure I can hop over there for as well. So yeah, check out my Twitch channel. Lethal, what have you been playing?
I finally finished Final Fantasy VII Remake. Got it 10 days early because of shipping, and I finally finished it. And my thoughts are pretty different from my impressions video now that I've finished it.
Really?
Really?
So, in a bad way, I guess, huh?
Not necessarily in a bad way, but I feel like a lot of the things I said in that video made sense considering of how far I was in the game at the time. But there's good reason for a lot of the arguments around this game now that I've seen it. I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to go into too much details here, but oh yeah, divisive.
Nice. Well, that'll be very interesting for any of us that eventually play it, which probably no one will. I'm like only a couple hours through it as well, and I'm like just lost the will to play. It's
March
good.
2021. That's when I'm playing Final Fantasy VII.
It's good. It's just a little too, like, I don't know. I don't know how to say it without being offensive, so I just won't say it. But it's not necessarily made for me.
Anything without being offensive?
Well, I cannot say this. So What about you, Mark? You're the one who's always playing a lot of different indie titles and things like that. What have you been playing?
This week, I've probably played more Valorant than anything else because I'm trying to finish off the closed beta rewards. You get this little like gun buddy keychain that says that basically you beat the beta. So I've been just trying to get the daily challenges done for that. I've done some training on Rocket League. I'm not particularly great, but I at least won't be embarrassing. I played one game of Apex Legends in order to capture some footage for my Titanfall 2 video, and I not only won the game, but had probably the best round of Apex Legends I've ever had in my life. So I posted the full match on my channel. If you guys go to my YouTube channel after that and want to see how I did. And I guess that's pretty much it. And then I've just still been working on Trails from Zero, which is my imported Japanese game that's fan translated, and it's incredible.
Nice. Very cool. I've been playing a little bit of Batman Arkham Knight. I've played some Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I played a little Call of Duty with Lethal, and I played like one match of Rocket League with Mark. That's about all the practice I've had. So
Ryan won.
I did beat Mark pretty good. I asked him if it was X-Ray Girl playing because I assumed it was only a woman driving. That could be the only assumption based on some of those moves. So, but yeah, so that'll be fun tonight. I put my Twitch channel in there, and so did Darth Barbie. So thank you, Darth Barbie.
I've been playing this trash jet ski rush game, and mainly because it was like on sale on Switch for like 99 cents. It's basically a wave race with Spy Hunter. It's fine, it's not great, but it's 99 cents. Buy it. If you like Spy Hunter, the OG Spy Hunter, and you like some wave race, go for it. So,
X-Ray Girls in the chat. Oh yeah, I also played Crucible. We forgot to talk about that game. It sucks. Amazon released a hero shooter of their own called Crucible. It kind of plays like a weird multiplayer Overwatch Mass Effect game, and it's not very good. I don't recommend getting it. It's free also, so I think it's a waste of money, and it's free to play.
Oh God, that's pretty rough.
It was a waste of my time.
This is and you're talking to a guy. This is a guy who says he's played Valorant the past couple days for hours just so he can get this little keychain or something in the game.
It's called a gun buddy.
A gun buddy keychain in the game that says he did this. That is why he's wasting hours of his time. He's telling you that it's a waste of your time to play Crucible. So listen to him. Drunk 3PO's in the chat talking about park hopping. Darth Barbie just put a link to park hopping. They are going live in 20 minutes. Jeremy will be there.
I'll be there.
A last push to get monetized over there. I think they only have about 1,000 watch hours left. So they're getting very close, maybe even less. So they're getting very close to getting monetized over there as well. And one last shout out to later tonight. So after I have gone live for Rocket League, Mara Jade Jade Shadow YouTube channel has her stream that she will be doing. I think Lethal gave me that link as well. So you can see the park hopping link there. Here is Mara's link. Mara monetization stream, which should be really fun. So I just put that in chat as well. But you guys have been awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna show everybody a couple screens. I'm gonna do a screen share really quick. So we have. So this is the website. This is the profile on the website. You've got an about section. You've got a blog section. You've got groups. So there's different groups that we're gonna have within the website that you can be part of. Once you're part of groups, the icons show up here. So like this is the premium group. So like if you become a premium member, which is the $10 a month, then that puts you in the premium group. This group right here, I think, is just like the general group for being part of the forums, and we'll have more groups as well. The newbie thing, that's kind of a work in progress. That's basically like if you start out, once you become a new member of the website, and I don't mean like a premium member, just a user on the website, you'll become a rookie or a newbie or something like that. You earn points. I'm going to work on getting, we're going to do for the staff, for team members. So like anybody that's part of the Geeks and Gamers team, I'm going to do some type of verification. So like like a blue check mark. We're going to have our blue check marks, but I want everybody to know who they're talking to from the staff perspective. But also if you're a member, I'm going to work on getting that crown next to your name too. So you'll have that. So there's little things you can earn through that. And then I'll stop sharing. Let me get another screen up, and then you can Give it back to me again. Hurry up.
Apollo made an Abby God of War meme. So if anybody wants to check out Lethal's Discord afterward.
And then this is all work in progress, but this is the premium access page. So once you become a member, you show up in this group. It's to get exclusive content and live streams. All of this is going to be updated and changed over. So that's what we're working on. We're almost there. It's been a long road, but I'm really excited about it. And basically, I'll tell everybody here, it's not going to be fully advertised, but we're shooting for Friday of next week to do a soft launch, which basically what that means is that we're going to make the website public. So for daily traffic, you're going to see it. I'm not going to make any official announcements on live streams or videos or social media, but the website will be live by next Friday for a soft launch, because we want to make sure we're working all the bugs out, before we start sending an onslaught of traffic. So it's really exciting stuff. Really exciting. So thank you all for the support. Really do appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be awesome. The website looks really slick. This is something that you're going to want to go to instead of going to these places like Collider or IGN or Screen Rant or any of these other places. Because one, you're going to be able to interact with a lot of us part of the team that will be taking, part in forum discussions, things like that. You are going to be able to have your own profile with your own blog. You can put your thoughts out there and even link it to your Twitter and, keep a daily blog if you want to do movie reviews, things like that. And of course, you're going to have articles. You're going to have all the latest videos, tweets from, Geeks and Gamers. Everything like that will be available there. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome.
Podcast feed will be on the website. Krista is going to be working on, maybe a schedule. And it's not going to be a schedule just for Geeks and Gamers, the channels. Like, we're going to work on trying to get schedules for other people that have streams that are on the team. It's like if Ryan has a weekly stream on Twitch, or if Mark has a stream, or you know what I mean? Like if it's streams that are kind of tied into what we do, video game streams and things like that. Maybe not just random streams that everybody does, but if you have like a gaming stream, so we're going to try to list those schedules on the website as well. So we got a lot going on. So excited. Nervous as hell too, but excited.
And, so thank you guys so much to the panelists for showing up here every week as they always do. And thank you to the chat for making this first monetized stream of this podcast. Awesome. This thing, we're going to keep growing it. So really excited to have all your support, and we will be right back here next week. Go ahead.
And I'm going to be on Park Hoppin' in 12 minutes. So join us over on Park Hoppin'. I'll be over there with Jay, Tugs, and we're going to talk about Universal Studios opening. And apparently Jay already has more dislikes on that stream than this stream. So
good job, Jay.
He was showing me some of those theme park people, man. That's a whole other world, man. That is the most cutthroat thing I've seen in my life, man. Like, you're gonna get stabbed lining up for a hot dog.
We are in uncharted territory when it comes to the theme park world, man. It's a whole different ball game. So
the only thing I'll say about theme park people is there's a reason when you go through these lines that there's little seats right next there to make sure they can fit in them. That's all I'm saying. That's the kind of people you're dealing with when you're talking about theme parks. So that's all I'll say about that. But thank you guys for being here on Game with Geeks. Make sure to check out that Park Hoppin' stream next. And we will be here same time next week to talk to you about the recent week's news in gaming. Thanks. We will talk to you next time. Peace.